Hello, YouTube. This will be episode 8 on getting started reloading, and this episode is going to be about powder. So we have a lot of decisions to make, and if you watch some of the previous episodes and you ordered the free catalogs, Western Powder, Alliant, Hodgdon, and of course Hodgdon sells theirs. They have an annual. It's $9, so if you pick that up, you've got some decisions to make. Depending on how many calibers you load for, is going to determine how much powder you get. Now, I'm a pistol guy, so I mostly load for pistols. That's why you only see a couple, 2 or 3 for rifle. But on our 4 reasons on why we reloaded, the first one, number 1, was saving money. That's why everybody starts. So saving money, I would probably say get that data from those free catalogs or your loading manual that you bought to study, and see what powder will work the most on the caliber you're shooting and different weight bullet. That's what I would do, and that's what I did from the beginning. I said, what's going to work, for the most and is available in my area, so I don't have to order and pay a hazmat fee. Because if you order online, you're going to have like a $20 to $30 cost. I think it's $20 for a hazardous material shipping fee, which they pay for the shipping service. They don't pocket any of that money. But what I would do is I would go through, see what you're loading for, if it's just 1 or 2 calibers, and look at those different bullet weights and go to your local stores, because this is really where you want to buy the powder at, is you want to get it locally. And see what you're going to get the most use of. What's like a universal powder. So we've got 2 on the table right now that are fairly universal. That's going to be your Unique and your Tight Group. These 2 for pistol are going to probably be your most used powders that's on this table right now. So there's several others, but as far as my market, it's a Hodgdon market where I live. That's why you don't see a lot of Western Powder or the Vitavorey or even Alliant. So it's a Hodgdon market here. But Tight Group was the powder that was kind of a universal powder that fit in a lot of the cartridges I was going to load for. And it's fairly inexpensive. And that depends on the availability of the powder as we speak. Right now, it's available. It's on the shelves. 4 or 5 years ago, you couldn't get it. But this is 2017, so you can find powder. But look through your catalog, see what you're loading. Look at those different bullet weights and see what bullet weight you're going to load, and make sure that powder or powders are going to work. So you want to start off with just one decent, load all powder. That's going to be the least expensive way to do it. And that's going to be Tight Group on the table, or Unique. If it's a Unique or a Alliant powder market where you live, that's going to be a good one to get. But search, and through your reading and studying, you'll learn about burn rates, how these burn, case capacity, and all that. All that's going to make a difference and tie together. So the faster the burning, that usually goes in small capacity, but you're going to read and learn that as you go. But this is a small selection of available powders, and this is just some I use. So probably the biggest use I use is for pistol, and that's why you see a lot of pistol on here. But do your reading, study, and then base your purchasing decision on what's going to work best for you. Look at that data in those books. Don't go by, somebody says, okay, N350 is going to be the best all-around powder. Well, it may not be for what you're loading for. So, always listen to anybody that's got advice, but it's best to do your own research, study, and see what you're going to load for. Start off small. Tight Group's probably one of the first powders I bought. It works well, and I still use it. But do a little research. Let's look at minimizing that cost. As we go over to a speed, we get to that second tier. We're talking about making the best power or the most powerful load. Tight group's not going to be that. You're going to move up to long shot, or you're going to move up to power pistol, which is not on the table right now. You're going to look at those powders that burn a little bit slower to get a higher velocity. And then as we move over to accuracy, you're gonna change how you load there. You may say, okay, I want a more accurate 9mm. I started with a cheap 9mm. I went with a tight group, and then I wanted a little faster 9mm, so I went with long shot. Now I want a little bit more accurate 9mm. I'm gonna try the Vita Vore. Not saying it's better, but just in theory of going through those steps. And then the fun part is when you get all these powders, you're like, man, I got to load more ammo. But joking aside, do your studying, start off cheap. These out of this bunch, those two are going to be your go-to powders for a universal type powder. This one in my area is a little bit more expensive. I can get this for about $17, $18 a pound. This is running maybe about $26 to $30, depending on what source I get it from locally. So study, get those catalogs, do some reading, move into it nice and slow. All right, hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you on the next one.